Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever we find you. Welcome to Wednesday, the 25th, as we creep into month end. What, no cheese bread, Raj? We got another gap? What's going on, folks? Welcome, everyone. I'm JJ. This is tradingsyndicate.org. And this is where real people make real money. That's what we try and do here every day in our trading room. We want to teach real people how to take intelligent trades, make real money, and keep it. No flim flam, no hard to understand lingo. Just pure, simple, old school blue collar trading. Yesterday's low was a clue? Okay. Probably right. I haven't been really as in tune with the markets as I probably should have been in the last couple of days. I've been running back and forth to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. I apologize for that. We'll do an execution lab today after this class, after this YouTube session. We're going to do an execution lab for all the people in the room at 11 o'clock a.m. I'll post the link. We could go get some work done on execution because, it's great to talk about levels and all that good stuff, but we really need to teach people how to execute. And that's what we focus on a lot. Well, I focus on a lot. It's the actual execution of the setups. Hey, Moran, how are you? Good to see you. So, okay, little preaching. Tomorrow's month end, right? All of you in my room, you know the number one rule when it comes to month end: don't be a dumbass. Don't take stupid trades. Don't let your emotions get a hold of you. Keep the money you made this month. If you didn't make any money this month, don't try and do it in the next 2 days because you'll get your ass handed to you. Always happens, right? A desperate trader is a broke trader, okay? So just be smart, folks, right? Days like today, now we're going to open on a gap. We're going to open on a gap up. So let's see, number one, does that gap fill? Or do we keep pushing higher? Right? We already know that we've got some serious short positions going into tomorrow's month end, right? We all know that. Right? Let's go and show you. Under 68.80, that's where the big short position is. Down at 68.70, everybody who got short here, they averaged up here and they're eating dust tonight because they shorted, they averaged up, and now they're trying to cover. And that's why we're flirting with that 69.30 level. Earlier this morning, I put out a tweet. And in that tweet, I said, 69.30, if we take out 69.30, it's going to start taking out stops. right? If we start accepting above 69.30, and we're right there. So if we take that swing high at 31 and 3/4, right, that's going to create buying that pushes us up as shorts try and cover. Now, whether that buying is sustainable, I don't know. So don't get too capital intensive on your trades, right? This is not the time to load the boat, right? If you wanted to load the boat, you should have loaded it under 68.64, because that's where all the size traders who knew it was month end got long in that B profile, right? You guys get what I'm saying? Is there any sort of mystery in what I'm saying? Right? It's very difficult shorting a market at the end of the month because the natural tendency of the business, remember, this is a business about money and other people's money, and those other people like to see their money going higher, right? And if they don't, they're going to pull that money and go to somebody else who can make it go higher. So generally at the end of the month, asset prices get marked up because of accounting, right? Everybody wants to look at their month-end statements and go, oh, Goldman made good money for me, right? But if they're going, oh, these guys are idiots, right? They lost 40%. Oh, I'm going to take what I got left and move it. So month end is traditionally a time where markets get marked higher. Now, having said that, it's not automatic. You got to have the order flow to do it, right? So this morning there were a bunch of guys on our stream, and they were talking about, you know, they were trying to figure out how the market works, and I had to stop them cold because it's a really simple mechanism, right? A market is where you bring stuff in and you sell it for a higher price, right? You go to Walmart to buy a TV for $1,000, they're not buying it at $900 and selling it to you at $700, unless they have to get rid of it, right? Unless, they need to get rid of it because they bought too many or something went bad in their pricing model. So that's what you're dealing with, my friends, right? You are like a mini Walmart, and you're buying contracts, and you got to make sure you buy them at the right price so you could flip them higher. But if you can't flip them higher, that's why we do these balance zones. So right now, we hit 69.33 and 3/4, and we're starting to take out that swing high at 31 and 3/4, and we're going up into this area of single prints up to 60. That's where the supply is in the market. So as the market runs out of supply, it's going to go into this area. Pretend this is a supply closet, right? Now, overnight inventory is long, right? Overnight inventory is very long, right? Is it reasonable to expect a retrace to the previous day high to continue the move up? It is reasonable. MCM. Do we get it? Right? Now you got to understand, sometimes what's reasonable is not what's going to happen. Right? The more people who are short here underneath 68.64 and who added to it here yesterday at 6,900, the more short they are, the more they're going to push the market up, and the people who are long, right, will raise price to take advantage of desperate buyers, right? What is the number one rule in Wall Street? When someone is desperate, you have a moral obligation to take advantage of them, right? Always go for the jugular, right? It's not a genteel business, right? So when traders know other traders are trapped, long or short, it's pretty easy to figure that out. Otherwise, you shouldn't be managing money, right? Everyone goes, how do you know when people are trapped short? Well, because it's my job, right? I spent 30 years doing this. So you can see now, look, there's the overnight high was here at 28 and change. It's all the way up here at 36, right? So we're going to see where we close. We are going to open out a gap. If we open here, we're going to open out a significant gap. There's a short position here, right? There is a short position at 69.17 to 19. So on any kind of a retrace, folks, let's go map out what you're looking at. If you are shorting, your target is 69.27, then 69.22. And that's all before we get to yesterday's high. You see that? So we got a lot of work before we get down there. The overnight point of control, right, where the position is, where the hell is it? It is, why can I not see the POC? Hello. Oh, that's weird. I don't see the point of control. Where's the overnight point of control? Is anybody listening? Yo, guys in the room. Where's the overnight POC? 13? Thank you, Moran. Aha! That's why, because I had the previous day high and the overnight point of control are at the exact same place. Thank you, MCM. That tells you all the size is here. That means there was a lot of short covering, right? No, it's exactly at 69.13, right? The overnight point of control is 69.13. 15 is time. The volume is here, right? Why is the most amount of volume right at yesterday's high? Because that's short covering, folks. So let's see if we can move that point of control up here somewhere to show distribution. We're going to open out a fairly significant gap, folks. Right? That's short covering. So you need proof that's short covering that's pushing the market up? That's what it is right there. Now let's see what we do. What do we open? Okay, we've got sellers here. Right? So when a market starts to come off, that means sell off. I want you to mark where the sellers are at the top of the candles on the way down. Because if you end up, say you're short, if you're short at 69.33 or 34, your warning level is 35 and your out is the high here at 36.5. Right? And you're looking to put some bids down in this area here. Right? In the 27, 28 level. I've been in and out, so I haven't taken any trades at all this morning. So I'm going to be starting off just like you guys. I want to show you something, folks. Hey, Juan, how you doing? You see, if you just look at a clean candlestick chart, you can see that there's a balance zone here, right? right? And this was a little sale. So if you looked at this as a balance, this is where you go and you sell the product, and this is where you come back down if you have to. So if you're short up here, say at 34, right, you're looking to cover somewhere in that 29.30 level. Does that make sense? So it's a nice clean chart. There's nothing on this, so you could clearly see that there was a bit of a balance here, right? So this is how you draw your balance zones. Now, let's see when you get to 28.5 whether we catch a bid. Now, why do we call it a balance zone? Look how well that worked, right? I use this. Look at the high, 36.5. What was the high? 36.5, right? I didn't even plan that out. It took me 2 seconds to do that. Now you know where your inventory is priced, right? If you're a trader, you got to know what you're buying and selling. You got to know where it should be priced, where you can make money, right? Does that make sense? So if you just came in this morning, you would draw your balance zone here. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, UK time, or 5 o'clock, or whatever it was. That's when I do my balance zones, right? So if we were using this as our balance, right, we did the same thing yesterday, right? And this thing does the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? There's no difference, and then you just go and set your VWAP, right? So you go to yesterday, right? Where's 2300, right? There's 2300. Anchor your VWAP, get rid of this stuff. Works on all time frames, all products, right? Look at that. Here we go. Inventory's already starting to correct. Beautiful. So if you were short 34, 35, go put some buy orders in here, right? Go put in your bids, right? And if we get a big inventory correction, we'll come down and we'll try and fill that gap, but we got to get past VWAP because VWAP is above the gap. Everybody see how that works? And if we stay under 28.5, right? Staying under 28.5 means rotation down to 24.5, right? So this is the simplest way to trade and make money. You don't need indicators. You don't need fancy software, book nose, bookworm, footprints, nose prints, all that BS, right? Just look and see where the sellers are. And are the sellers lowering price? Oh, yeah, it's a market. Yeah, so the sellers are lowering price. So as long as the sellers are lowering price, which means the top of every half-hour candle is going lower, beautiful. So you guys want to use this balance zone? Let's see how well it works, right? Got my old one here. Let's use this chart. So now everybody knows how I picked the balance zone, right? And a balance zone is a stupid way. We should actually call it a cost basis zone. Because if I went and I draw a volume profile, where is it? Right? If I draw a volume profile, oh boy, look at all the volume there. Right? So you don't even need volume profile. All you need to know is time and volume spent creates a cost basis. Right? So if you had a store, if you had a grocery store, right? And you had like a corner store. I don't know if you guys know what those are, a little store in the corner, and you sell, bread, milk, cigarettes, candy, gum, that kind of stuff, right? Well, when you go to restock your shelves, you're not going to buy a loaf of bread for $5 to sell at $5, right? You got to go buy it cheaper. And it takes you time to put together that inventory. So you just saw me draw a balance zone, a cost basis zone, where we showed you that this is the cost basis and this is the 2 times profit zone, and we hit that target to the penny. And it took me all of what? A minute? So if you want to learn how to do this, right, and if you want to learn how to trade in a simple way, right, if you're tired of getting short at the wrong place, you're tired of going long in the wrong place, you're tired of blowing up accounts, right, you're worried about your retirement, you want to learn how to trade, you want to learn how to invest, come into our trading room, and for $19 a month, less than you'll spend going to McDonald's, right, you are going to learn how the business works, right? And it will teach you how to make a living. Why isn't this chart updating fast? Okay, it's a little better now. Right, so see, here we are. The sellers at 30 are right there, and then they'll be there right under 31. See how they move up and come back down, move up, come back down. If those sellers see buyers, they will start to lift that red line called the ask up to the next level, which will be 30 and 3/4. And if it gets past 30 and 3/4, your next level is 32 and 1/4. Does that make sense? It's really simple. Yeah, exactly. You can use volume profile of the balance zone exactly the same. But all you need to do is just be aware of time, right? The more time you spend somewhere, right, the more volume you're going to accrue, right? Yeah, I still have the volume point of control at 13. See, my volume point of control is around 2,900 contracts, right? Or where is it? 2,277. So I need to print 2,278 contracts at one of these ticks up here to move. But we get good distribution, right? We get good distribution. How do you manage risk without after losing consecutively? Stop trading. You took a payout. You need to stop and chill out because tomorrow's month end, right? You got to be careful. What you should do, Nathan, right now is you should review your trading, right? If you had a slippage problem, that means you were probably trading during a volatile time, right? You shouldn't have slippage in a low volatility time. Oh, guess it's not a back and forth conversation. What's up, Fish? Your POC is up at 27 and a half? Okay, different data feeds are different. Yeah, if you start having consecutive drawdowns, you need to stop trading before you lose all your money and blow all your capital, right? And on funded accounts before you blow it and have to reset, right? It's a good thing you got the payout, right? But he stopped talking to me. So on to the next question. What balance zone you rely on the most? No, I just withdrew it now to make, like, I'm trying to show you guys how I do it. If I was still using the same balance, I would use the one from last night. Because I used the balance from the previous day because we had this move up. Actually, it worked here too, the low, the high, and the low. So I used that area as my balance, and now we're at 4 times distribution. Right? It doesn't matter what zone you use. One is not better than the other. You know why, Pinnacle? Because we're selling the same crap. The inventory hasn't changed. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, we were doing ES, selling ES contracts, right? Now we're selling ES contracts. So nothing has changed in the underlying business or the underlying inventory. So it's not like we're running a nail salon in the morning and then running a gas station in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Folks on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you ask me a question and I answer it. Give me a little feedback if you can, right? Thank you, Pinnacle, right? Right? Like, don't ask a question and then me answer it and then you guys go mute. And then I need to start doing sign language or something to get your attention. Right? Good stuff, David. All right. So, now we went into that 31, 32 area before the open to see if we had we had inventory. I want to see what kind of selling steps into the market when this puppy opens for real in about a minute. Let's see what we got. I'm short biased, right? I'm short biased because I could see sellers stepping in the 30s, the 32s, right? Let's use this chart. Let's pretend we just started trading today because I did, right? And I'm looking for a short sale. So I know generally when a market opens, you can really sucker a lot of people to like run in and buy, right? Right? Everybody loves to rush in and buy the open. Okay? But so as an intelligent short seller, you want to wait, and whatever time frame of candle chart you're using, you want to put those lines out so you know where the sellers are. There we go. So we're off. We're going into the single prints, and we're going. Right? So you can see we're hitting these sellers to the tick. Right? Now, if we take out that overnight high, it's going to force a lot of shorts. Like, say I'm short at 30, right? Now I'm forced to scramble, and we're into this no man's land, right? So let's see if the market can come back down, right? Because shorting too early just is going to kill you, right? Shorting too early is just, it's like getting a root canal without any freezing. So when would you short the market? Well, right now I wouldn't be shorting because I'd be in a world of hurt, right? What I'd wait is for the market to come back underneath 69.36 and show me that there's a seller. Otherwise, what's the point of shorting this? Right? It's just going higher and higher and higher. Right? Until you see the sellers step in, right? And those candles going lower like this pattern here, right? If you want to learn a pattern, look at the offer moving lower. Here the offer just boom, straight up, right? Because all of those suckers come crawling in, right? Or rushing in right when the market opens. It's like those people who want to buy the first iPad, right? Boom, there we go. Now we're under 36. Let's see if we stay under 36, right? That would be a false breakout if we do, right? It's going to come back in, and let's see if we run out of buying. Because if we catch a bid at the overnight high, it's just going to rip straight up. See? Give it a little time. Right? Exactly, S-Pill. Right? Since we gapped up, what does a gap mean? It means a change. Right? It means change. Right? It's not business as usual. Prices are way higher than they were yesterday. So if I was buying bread at $2 yesterday, it's $3.50 this morning, for God's sakes. Give it some time. You always want to short the back end of a move, my friends. The back end of the move is where the money is at. Right? So you might sacrifice a little bit in trade location for certainty that sellers are actually present. See, right now they're not present. Right? They're screwing with you at this 36.5. Now let's see. I want these candles. I want the lows of these candles. Do you see how this happened here? Right? This is so simple. See how the lows of these candles stayed underneath that level? These ones haven't done that yet. So don't short just yet. Make sense? I mean, unless you've got a big account and you can hold a short and be 5, 10, 20, 30 grand out of pocket, right? But you guys probably don't have that kind of dough. And even if you did, why the heck would you want to be down 30 grand? Give it some time. And this is why people tell you to be patient, because they mean be smart. Wait for the market to show its hand. Right now, the offer is lifting. See? Whip, zip, zip. Now, all the people who are short under 36, they're screwed. Right? And if enough good order flow comes in, they'll be forced to cover higher. See? Look at this. It looks shaky, but that offer, watch the offer. The offer is lifting over where that white line is. You're in trouble. Right? Now, let's see if we can get under 36. Does everybody follow this train of thinking? Because it is the simplest train for you to be on. Look at the bottom of that candle, 36.5 to the penny. Right? We need a seller underneath 36. Why would anyone sell it at 36.5 if people are willing to pay 37? Right? The only is if other people are selling and competing with you. Right? This is a very tough area to trade the overnight high. Right? Especially on a gap. So if you're short, your warning level, I'd say, is 39, and your holy F, get the hell out of here, is at 41. Give it some time. Give it some time. We need an aggressive seller here. See how the lows of the candles are getting higher? But they're still selling into this. Why? Because if you were a size trader and you were long 24 to 28, you'd be out of your mind not to sell into this. Right? That's what's keeping the price from just running, because we have sellers competing. And if we get enough sellers competing, we're going to wear out that buy, and the shorts will drop their bid down to 35. But if not, if we start creeping above 39.40, watch your whiskers if you're a short seller. Unless you're Daddy Warbucks or you got a money tree in your backyard, watch your whiskers. Watch that offer. Boom, there you go. Now we're going to take stops. Boom, boom. There's 40. Told you. right? I told you 2 minutes before that move happened that it was going to happen, right? That is tactical, smart information you can use. Because if you were short 34, 35, you should have covered, right? You should cover into this. Now we're going into these single prints to get supply, and this could be ugly if you're short. Things can get really ugly really quick. See, the thing is, we've been spouting this AI news, getting everybody to think the world is going to end, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, everything's going bad. And look, we're opened on a gap up in the ES. Because that's what the business is doing right now. It has nothing to do with the news right now. It has to do with the order flow. And if people are trapped short from 2 days ago, and tomorrow is month end, then they got to do some fancy footwork, right? Otherwise, you don't get paid, right? And your monthly Learjet payment bounces. Just kidding. Right? Now you can see there's a little bit of selling, right? Right after we destroyed the shorts, now we're going to backfill, right? You don't want to bounce. You don't want to bounce a payment on your Learjet or your what the heck are those? You know, your Gulfstream, right? Country Club payments start to go bouncing. Things go bad, you know. So you got to weasel your way out of that short, which is what they're trying to do now. Right? The only thing that's saving the shorts is that supply at 43. That's the only thing. There we go. Now we're going to see when we get to that overnight high, that's where everyone's trapped short, right? Right at 36.5. That's why every time it comes down here, it catches a bid and the offer moves up. Now let's see if we could get some selling to push lower underneath 36. Otherwise, we're going to go tickle those highs again, right? Boom. You notice how the charts go exactly to the white lines where I drew them? That's not a mystery, right? This is simple information. I haven't talked about a pattern. I haven't talked about anything other than what is going on in the business. And that is directly going to affect the way you trade, right? So if you know that shorts are trapped underneath the overnight high and you're a short seller at 40 or 39 and it comes down to 38, put some bids underneath 38 because other people are going to be buying with you and competing, right? That's what retail traders, the biggest thing retail traders don't understand is the concept of competition. When you're a size trader, there are thousands of other traders who are trading size, and you're all competing against each other to capture the buying or to get filled if you're short. So if I'm short 1,000 contracts and Raj is short 3,000 contracts, right? When we get anywhere remotely near 37, right? They step in and start bid, 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 taking bid, taking bid, taking bid, taking bid. And that's exactly what's happening now. So all you got to do is mark where the sellers were. And if you're a short seller and the offer starts moving higher above these levels, well, you know your goose is cooked, right? It's simple. If you're long off of this overnight high, right? If you're long 36, 37, because it's a little shaky, make sure that you go and put your sell orders out. So say I was long 10 contracts or 5 or 15, right? Say I'm long 10 here, right? At 37. I sell 2, I sell 2, I sell 2, I sell 2, and keep going. And as the market goes up, it's going to take you out of your long, right? Sell them on the way up. If you're short, buy them back on the way down. Looking for bids at 37.5. 37.5, 38. Here we go. Now, if this makes sense to you, that means your mind hasn't been polluted by all these trading gurus. If what I'm saying makes no sense to you, do yourself a favor and come into our trading room for a month. And I'll deprogram you and teach you how the business works and get you on the right path to making money. Because a lot of traders right now would be short that gap. And they'll be adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. Right? There we go. Now we got a seller. Right? Big red candle. So if you're shorting under 37, 36, put your bids up. Make sure you put your bids up, my friends. Right? Because if you didn't, guess what? You're SOL. Look below and fail of 36.5. Damn, I missed that long at 37. 37 to 40 would have been a nice little trade. See, now you know where the shorts are trapped. You guys get that? You know that the shorts are trapped at the bottom of these candles. Because here, 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 and here, when we lowered price, the buyers came in, knocked the security guard out of the way, and bum rushed the LCD screens. Right? That's like a Black Friday sale. Right? No reason to sell if we got a gap. Well, no, well, right. It all depends on the price action, right? The order flow. But they sold it down, found the bid at 35. You know what I mean, Raj? Right, you could see that, right? If you're in front of the screen, you can see the bid. Right, brother? So this is a little balance. Nathan, don't worry about it. You blew the account? Yeah, I told you not to trade. Sorry, man. But that's how they get you. You won't make the same mistake next month. Right? You won't come into our room, man. I'll teach you how to do this. Right? If you're tired, like remember this feeling. Right? Yeah, you just go from one color to another, Pinnacle. That's all. Just spend the $20, come into our room, Nathan, and I'll teach you how to do this. Right? Otherwise, you're just going to keep going through the same cycle of blowing accounts. Right? It's a simple business, guys. It's been prostituted and flipped upside down and abused. And you guys have been abused by people who pretend they know what they're talking about. Nice work, Jeff. How are things in Minnesota? Hope it's getting warmer. Yeah, sure, Doken. See, you always get these people who come into the chats and think that they know everything. Right? Sure, the market will go down when the sellers show up, right? But if you're shorting early, you're going to get killed. So if you want real information that you can use, listen to me. Otherwise, you can go and listen to idiots like who just posted. Right? Yeah, it's going down, isn't it? If you know, you know. That's great. Yeah, you need to see a seller underneath 36, Harris. Otherwise, what's the point of shorting? Why would you short if everybody else is raising price? Think about it. At some point, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to use common sense. Right? And all this you know bullshit, right? What do you know? We're up from 36 to 46. Obviously, you don't know shit. Come on, right? Harris, what did I tell you yesterday? What have I been telling you for the last 3 days? That's not even remotely what I told you to do. I told you to practice the look below and fail, brother. Right? So where are you getting trade into strength? What are you talking about? Right? We're obviously running out of supply. We're going into the single prints. Right? Good thing there's a lot of them. Right? You know, Harris, you with me, brother? So right now there's no trade for you. There was a look below and fail here, right? And a look below and fail here. So you should have taken those trades like the document I sent you. Did, Let me know if you understand. Just focus on the look below and fail. That's all you got to do. Send me your balance zones. Do 30, 40 balance zones every day. Look below and fail. Look below and fail. Look below and fail. Don't change anything. Right? You're not a breakout trader. Right? That's all you got to do. Yeah, that's really not helpful. Hey, Wizzle, welcome. God, it's like Animal House today in this room. Yeah, I changed it, Howard. I changed the balance zones because I was showing people, you're joining us late. I was showing people how to draw balance zones. They still work though. Don't worry. I'm sorry, Howard. Oh my God. Is it a full moon? I think it's a full moon because people are acting the fool. Let's get some distribution going. Thank you, Hex. Appreciated. After your nonsense yesterday, how's your streak going? Not a full moon, just month end. Hey, Jade, what's going on, brother? So my point of control did move up to 37 and change. Right, good distribution. Right, off the backs of those poor trap shorts. That's okay. Keep it to 4 points then. Just keep it to 4 points. That's good. You're working hard. Keeps you out of trouble, brother. Thanks. Doing better. Yeah. I think they finally got the medication right for the old ticker. Uh, Welcome, Churio. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the you folks who just joined us. Maybe people are acting a little weird because they haven't seen a gap in a while. Right? Remember, I did say if we take out the 6930s, and I posted that, what, 6 hours ago? If we take out the 6930s, we're going to start running some stops, and that's exactly what we're doing. Mercury's in retrograde? Oh, great. I still don't know what that means. I got one of my guys who swears by the astrology charts. I don't know how he does it. Yeah, I posted this not 6 hours ago. 10:46 a.m. Taking out the 6930s will trigger more buying. Slow news until the video comes out. And just trade your A-plus setups. So, folks, if you're tired of losing money, join our trading room, right? Why do you want to live in your own personal torture chamber? Now we're going to backfill this move. Stop being tortured by the market and learn how to do things properly. It'll really help. Yeah, that's the other thing. Misery loves company. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. If you hang out with a bunch of losing traders, you're not going to make money. Right? You got to hang out with people who make money. Right? And you got to get used to making money. Because if you're always doing things that lose money, you're not building good habits. Right? I want to teach you how to make money so you don't, because even if you make $50 a day, you're making more than 99% of the people who claim that they know what they're doing. Right? It's hard to trade a gap up. I'm sure there's somebody that can help you with that, Neela. I've never used Trade-of-8, so sorry, I can't help with that. Got lots of people who do. All right, it's kind of slow now. Let's go see what the cool kids are doing. NVIDIA coming up to 194.95. Right? Or, sorry, 196.31 is my level. No, 196.01. Backfilling a bit now. I don't know, whatever software you're using, just try and draw a square box. It's probably like the simplest thing to do. Backfilling. Got to keep the money, brother. Got to keep the money. If you are short, under 44, under 45, remember you're looking for bids right here, my friends. That's where the bids are going to be. That's where your competition's going to be, right? So you know where to cover, right? Because you don't want to let somebody else get your contracts, right? Micron, you know what? I don't have a chart for that. I'll chart it though, Braden. I will chart it. What's next? What's next? Still just distribution here. So we're going to come back up, right? There's going to be sellers here, and then here and here. So say if you went quick long at 38, 39, you know there's going to be sellers when you get to the 42s, right? There you go. When you mark where the sellers are on a move down, you're going to know where they're going to be when the market goes back up. Why? Because they're selling more than one contract or more than one share. They've got size, right? So size traders will always put orders in at the same place. Right? This is just good distribution. 69.49 to 60. Yeah, that's what I've got. 49 quarter to 60. So this is the perfect time. Say if you were long, right? Say you're long size, right? You're long size here or here. Well, you can just generally get rid of that up here. It's beautiful distribution. Hell, if you're long size here and you sold here and here, you can get rid of the rest of your position before month end and still be a rock star. See, let's see if we can move that point of control from 37.5 all the way up here now, right? When the point of control moves up in market profile, right, that volume point of control just means that good distribution is happening. When the point of control moves down, it means accumulation is taking place. Now, you can use the point of control as a place to get out of trades, like say you're short down to the point of control. You can use that especially in a slower market like a Globex market. That works nicely. Right? This is a little more difficult to trade because we're like seriously in distribution right now. Seller under 44. I hate trading distribution like this because it's tight, right? It's the wholesalers are just losing their contracts. If you want to short, right? If you're thinking short again, 42 is your big level. If we start lifting over 42, it'll start printing the 43, 44s, and that'll bring in buying, and we'll start moving back up again, which is a pain if you're short. I don't see a long here because we're just chopping around. Now let's see if we could fill those bids underneath 37. See, we came right back. See, there's a little cost basis here, right? We went up, sold it, came right back into this cost basis. Trading is all about inventory and cost basis. There's nothing else, right? Longer term investors look at macro and things like that, and that's cool. But trading, day trading, is all about inventory and cost basis. Coffee time. It's usually 40 minutes into the open is when the coffee cart shows up on the trading floor. You get a little burst of activity. Now let's see what kind of order flow we get coming in. Oof. See you a bit here. Thanks for checking in. Oh, look at it. BM&R got some short covering. Nice. Good for it. What else are you guys looking at? Not much to do here. It's waiting for this. See if we can get underneath that overnight high. Oh, good stuff, Whizzle. All right, we're starting to creep on that overnight high. Now, here's something you can use. If you have the overnight high marked, right, watch the reaction when we come down. Right, the last time it was quite strong. Right, here we couldn't even get to it. Right, watch the offer as it comes to that overnight high, 36.5. There you go. Now it finally tagged it after a whole 20 minutes. Right, so now the sellers are starting to put it on sale. So if you're looking for a short and you haven't shorted it down here, wait till we get underneath 36 and make the market prove to you that the seller is there. Right? There we go. Here we go. Now the next candle is going to open in 5 seconds. And if it stays under the overnight high and you're short, there's your bid right there. Look at it right there. There's your bid. Right? And if we get underneath that green line, that'll be beautiful. We'll be looking for 32.5. Okay? Hey, AZS, how you doing? But if we can't stay under that green line, we'll rotate back up to 36.5. There you go. Right? So if you were short 36 with a 37 stop, and this candle stays under 35, go put your buy orders in at 33. Get paid, get paid, get paid. Right? And there is the short. We had to wait for it, but there it is. Right? This is the short that tells you that the sellers are lowering price, especially under that level. Right? Now, more mature traders can take it this way, but the newer traders wait until you get under 36, put in the trade, put in your stop, and then go put your buy order in right away. Nice work, Pinnacle. Beautiful. I'll take 2 points all day, every day. Thanks, Taco. See, now when we come back up to that level, my charts have frozen. Why are my charts freezing? Huh. That's weird. Computer froze again. Just going to close down some of these windows. Nice done. Nice work. Nice work. Alrighty. If you're short and it stays underneath 35, you're okay. If we start, see? Tesla? You want to look at Tesla? All right, let's go look at Tesla. What's Muscosaurus doing today? Sellers at 422.06. Now, what you got to look at, overbought dead, right? Overbought dead, asset prices get marked up. So all of the gains that happen over the next 2 days, right, 3 days, will they continue next week? That's what you got to ask yourself if you're a swing trader. You'll see everything is generally up because about that short covering, right? If tomorrow is about dead and you're short, right, you want to come in and do some short covering. Makes sense, doesn't it? All right. As we come down, let's see if we can take out the open. So first we went up, we got rid of our inventory. Now we're backfilling, right? So the ultimate destination is VWAP at 28.69. Any questions, folks? No? Yes? Maybe? I don't know what the annual range is, Braden. I have no clue. Sorry. I'm sure somebody has that answer. So do you wait for a full bar confirmation before I look below and fail? I'd like to get a full bar confirmation, Tim. I'd really like to get a full bar. If a market's moving fast and it's in motion, sometimes like yesterday, I just had to buy the offer. Had no choice, right? But in a slower market, I do prefer to have another couple of bars, at least one or two, right? Can't be too greedy. Usually one will do it. That's okay, Mike. You know what? As month end gets close, a lot of traders start losing money at the end of the month, especially if they have a good month and they start pushing it, right? I do not care about wicks at all. So Tim, all I look at is the top of the candle and the bottom of the candle. I don't care what the hell it is, if it's a wick or a twick or whatever the hell you guys call it. There's only one top of a candle and there's only one bottom of a candle. That's what candle traders don't realize. The print is all that matters. The print is where the transaction occurs. So look here, right? There are two wicks that have the exact same. What that means is there's a seller sitting there waiting for you guys to come in. And now the sellers have moved to 36.5. Now the sellers have moved under 36, right? So the sellers were here, they moved down to here, they moved down to here, right? And when the next candle opens, you see how it's pushing down? There's going to be buyers between VWAP and 32, right? That's what they're doing right now. They're front running the open, right? They are front running 69.30.5. The buyers are, right? Because they're short. They averaged up over 45 and they're trying to trade their way out of it. So let's give it some time. And this is where it's going to tell us how bad the shorts are trapped. Because if the shorts are really, really trapped badly, what's going to happen is the smart money shorts will start coming in and covering 34, 35, right? The dumb money shorts will start initiating here, and if the offers lift over 37, they're going to all have to go and race to cover, right? And we'll see it happen. Let's see if it happens today. Watch the offer creeping up, right? So there's a seller there at 36, right? Watch. The more people who shorted in this little cluster, the more it'll pop over 37. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So there's a seller at 35, 36 right now. That's the only thing that is saving these shorts from destruction. So watch this now. Watch. As we come down, can we get underneath 32.5 and stay there? Right? What you're doing is you're looking for the reaction down here. Right? You'll see it come down to 32 and the offer lift. If that response is not really, really strong, then the next candle will probably push lower. Right? So this is good. It's good that we have selling, and if we tag VWAP, that'll be perfect, and get underneath it because it'll shake some of these people who are long over 36, 37. It'll shake them out, and it'll allow the shorts to come and cover. Right? This is exactly what's going on in the market, folks. Don't get it twisted. Right? Algos are doing the work, but the business never changes. Thanks, Mike. You know, those of you who are having trouble trading month end, do yourself a favor. Don't trade month end. Because month end is very difficult to trade. The only time you should trade month end is if your A plus setup is there, right? If the way you do business every day, if that setup is not showing itself, if it's not present, don't trade, right? Only trade when it's advantageous to you, right? Now let's see. Give this some time because it takes time to trap shorts, right? It's like laying a trap. Let's see if the order flow comes in, right? So if enough people come in and start buying and that offer gets over 36.5 and you're short and you're looking for VWAP, be careful, right? If I was short 38, 39, I'd have covered at 32 already. I'd be long gone, especially in this. Watch these candles. Watch the offer. Watch that red line. Right? Okay, there's a seller just under 36, thankfully. Exactly, Jiraj, exactly. Close your eyes and pretend that you're long at 40, right? You're long at 40 and maybe you average down, right, at 34. Well, what happens if we can't get over 40, right? What happens if, like, you're not going to hold the trade forever, right? Remember, just like your store, right, with you and your pops, you've got inventory. Say you guys go and buy 1,000 pairs of shoes, right, that nobody wants to buy, right? You didn't do any test marketing, right? You just went out and got them because you thought they were priced well. And then the guy next to you puts them on sale 20% under what you're selling them at. Well, now you're hooped, right? It's the same thing. The chart is just showing you how sales are going on a minute-to-minute basis. This chart here is showing you how sales are going on a half-hour basis, right? I wouldn't, if I was a short seller in this area here, right, the way that just happened, there's a good thing there's a seller at 37, 36, right? I'd be as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs if I was short and I didn't cover. That's why I say A plus setups only, and make sure you pay yourself at month end, right? Don't hope and wish and pray that it goes lower or higher. Take profits, cover your shorts, put the money in the bank. And that's how professional traders trade, right? They don't work all month just to blow everything at the end of the month, right? That's not how business works. Pretend you're running a business. The wholesalers are just trading 32.5 to 36 back and forth while they wait for more customers to come in. And that's the thing, Mike. There's not just one seller. Right? I'd like to see it go lower. I think liquidation is healthy. Well, if there's both. See, that's the thing, Mike. It's not or, and. See, all you got to do is switch the or to and, right? The sellers at 36 are busy, and they are bigger buyers under 32. Now, those big buyers are going to start moving their bids lower if they see size coming at them. It's like if you're standing, right? Exactly. It has to be both. If you're standing at the bottom of a building and you see somebody throw a safe off the 32nd floor, you kind of want to get out of the way, right? Simple. It's a simple business, right? very frustrating shorting at the lows and buying at the highs. So if you want to stop doing that, stop wasting your money, stop blowing accounts. Come into our room. I'll teach you how to trade. Simple, right? I'll teach you how to make a living, right? You can ask the people in the room who've been with me. Does it take a little time? Yeah, right? It's not like I'm going to give you a violin tomorrow and the next day you're going to be playing like Heifetz, right? It's going to sound like you're torturing cats when you first start, right? Jiraj, you're off again, brother. You're off again. They don't have a lower cost basis intentionally, right? Well, that's what business is about, right? So remember, brother, just focus on that look below and fail trade. Don't worry about all of this, right? Don't let your mind wander. Relax when it's like this. Get it? If they're doing that, maybe they're doing, who cares, right? What did I tell you? Right? We're creeping that overnight high, right? They just threw a warning shot, right? So if we clear that level, the next seller is going to be here, and the next seller is going to be here, and so on, right? Stay to your setup, the setup I taught you guys, right? Just do that. Do it 1,000 times. Do it blindly without thinking, right? Don't overthink this thing, right? When you start overthinking, you know what happens when you're overthinking? I'm going to hit you with an uppercut. You understand that analogy, right? Right? You're overthinking, your mind is wandering, you're in the ring sparring. Next thing you know, you're knocked out on your ass, right? Because you're not paying attention to the right things. Look at that. Now we're starting to creep that overnight high again. So what did I say? Everyone who's short now from 32 to 34, they're starting to realize it. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, right? And they start covering. If enough of them cover, the people who are long 33 to 35 will yank the offer up to 40. And you'll see a big-ass green candle. Otherwise, they're going to do the slow dance of torture and keep moving price higher slowly. Right? Now, this is all dependent on the order flow that comes in. So nothing's guaranteed, right? But that's why I didn't want to be short 34, 35, because I saw the creep coming. Why? Because tomorrow is month end. And I know people are trapped short here. They're trapped short here. They're trapped short at 22. They're trapped short under 17. They're trapped short under 13. They're trapped short under 3. They're trapped short under the overnight low, right? Those are all the time frames of the different people who are trapped, right? I know when it's choppy, and I know if you haven't traded that day, and I know it's the end of the month, your mind is going to be racing. This is the time, this is more important than anything else right now. You guys have to enforce discipline and discipline yourselves to wait for that setup. And if that setup doesn't happen, you have to discipline yourself to relax, right? So you don't make any stupid decisions, right? You come up with some smart ass idea, right? Oh, let's do this, right? Don't do that. See? The only thing that's saving these people who are short is there's a seller right there. Right? So it seems like a slow, torturous move up. But I'll tell you something. Over the next couple of minutes, if we can't get underneath 36.5 and stay there, I don't want to be short. See? Level to level to level. Told you guys. I told you about this move here. 15 minutes ago, I told you this was going to happen. It's nothing magic. You just understand how the business works. You understand what time of the month it is. Now you're cooking with gas. And it's simple. Ladies and gentlemen, this is simple. There's no complicated math. There's no algorithms, right? There's no, what was it yesterday? Alpha wave, 2,3-methyl dioxy alpha wave sine regular sinus pattern. There's none of that crap, right? Right? Chart's telling you got sellers at 41. There they are. It's pretty simple. You got a gap. Over the last hour, the gap has not even come remotely close to filling. The market opened here and went 3 ticks lower and then straight up. That tells you the market's bid. Right? So who are that idiot who said, you know, where is he now? 40 points higher. I'm telling you folks, thank you for being with us. Right? I apologize for the idiots on the stream. Every once in a while we get them. Have a safe trading day. Do yourself a favor. Come into our room, spend the $20, spend some time with me, and I'll teach you how this business works, okay? We appreciate you guys. Thank you for being with us. Have a great trading day, and we will see you tomorrow morning. And the rest of you, mahalo. The rest of you, half an hour, and I'll put the link for the execution lab in the ES live trading room, okay? Bye for now.